Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Colon DeLay. I'm back to tell you a little bit about the seven deadly sins. And really, there's not seven, and there's really not deadly sins. These are afflicting thoughts, and they're temptations that happen to all of us. They're also not seven because there's actually nine. And I'm going to get into that with this video and then the next video. And these are all detailed quite a bit in my new book called The Way of the Desert Elders, which you can get anywhere you buy books and at tiny.cc/elders. And this is part of our early Christian history. It's great to know these things now, these virtues now, and kind of refresh them for our lives, because we have a lot of people who have great influence and power, elites and government officials, who literally show us what not to do. They show us all the vices, but not the corresponding virtues that help us overcome them. Donald J. Trump, 45th and 47th President of the United States, respectively, has a quote that says, "The point is, you can't be too greedy." That's actually not true. A greedy person would say that. A greedy person thinks that greed is good, but for everybody else, they lose out. The poor lose out, the vulnerable lose out when there are greedy people. There's actually enough to go around. We have a scarcity mentality that says there's going to be not enough food, not enough water, not enough housing, not enough care. There is plenty to go around. If people didn't hoard resources and hoard wealth and shared even just 10% or 20% of their enormous wealth that they love to flaunt at us in our faces, then everybody would be okay. But the fact is that does not happen, and we have to resist it. We have to call it out. We have to act differently ourselves, and we have to not let people get away with sinning in greed. You can be too greedy, and people who are too greedy should be stopped. And they are essentially stealing from others, because when you have a lot of responsibility and a lot of wealth, it is incumbent on you to do well with those things, to use them well. Your life is short. It's just a mist. So why be greedy and ruin lives for others? Greed is also called avarice, and it involves a temptation to keep accumulating, even when others are in need of our help. It tempts us to send out social signals that show that we have plenty and we have what others desire. Greed offers us a taste of a false promise, a promise of self-sufficiency. If I have enough, if I have a lot, I'll be okay. I'll be safe. Nothing can hurt me. And of course, that's not true. It's one of these false promises we are tempted with greed. The more we have, the more responsible we are to make sure others are not going without, especially the basics: food, medicine, housing. And yet, what do we see at record numbers in the United States? We see record numbers of extreme wealth in the hands of a very few, and we see more and more people going without housing, without the ability to afford health care, lives ruined. Greed is a desperate and dubious soul sickness, and it keeps us selfish. It ruins people's lives. In certain ways, greed will tempt us with the desire to make sure we have enough and succumb to feelings of insecurity about it. Most of us collect too many things, for instance, clothes or tools, things we don't really need. And sometimes these things could benefit others. Instead, we wind up dehumanizing others, exploiting others, and getting addicted to bad habits such as greed. The wise desert elders purposefully simplified their lives, or they gave up everything, and many of them had wealth and came out to the desert anyway. They knew that wealth was ruining them at a core level. They exchanged this wealth for the spiritual benefits that actually last, and not just make us better people, but make us have a better world. The Desert Father Evagrius wrote about these seven deadly sins, as we call them, as demons, or he called them the 8 afflicting thoughts. And later he added envy to make all 9. Greed and the 8 other afflicting thoughts, and how the desert mothers and fathers in the 300s and 400s dealt with them. And this was up to 500,000 people at one point in the desert. And the spiritual practices that helped them increase in virtue. They're the subject of my book, The Way of the Desert Elders, that is coming in January 2026. I hope you will get it. And you can subscribe to this YouTube channel and get the rest in this series. And I can't wait to bring that to you.